Welcome back, folks. My name's Shane. I hope you're well. In today's video, we're checking out the Warm Audio Throne of Tone. So if the look of this doesn't give it away, the name should. So not only is this a blues breaker pedal, but it's also a king of tone. And you can get any combination of either. It's an overdrive, distortion, and clean boost on both sides that you can stack into the opposite side. And you can run the signal chain in any order thanks to the two-way toggle switch at the top here. While this pedal might look complicated, it's actually really easy to get going, and it does have quite a few toggle switches, but there's 3 toggle switches per channel up here. So we get our standard volume, gain, tone, and presence on both sides, and you can basically configure which one is first in the signal chain. So if you want this side first, you can flip it that way. If you want this side first, which is how I like to run it, you can flip it that way. Now we get a presence control on both sides as well, which is great if you're playing with humbuckers, and I'll showcase that a bit later on. Now, what I really like about this is the different voicings here. So we've got our blues breaker or king of tone option on both sides. So that's the left and right side showcased there. And then we also get a 3-way toggle switch here, which gives us overdrive, basically a clean boost. It's sort of an off clean boost, and distortion. And the boost setting gets really loud. So if you need to slam the front end of an amp, you can absolutely do so. But it's great having 2 different types of dirt. And then we can change the gain structure here. So we've either got a low gain or a high gain option, and both are very musical. We've got an effects loop built in on the back. It runs on 9-volt DC. Our input and output jack's pretty obvious there. And there's also a voltage boost, which changes the internal voltage from 9 volts, which is what you'll power this with, to 18 volts internally. Before we get into this video, a massive thanks to Studio Connections for sending this out and sponsoring this video. If you want to take a look at this, I'll link it down below. Here we go. All right, let's make some noise. I'm playing my Strat. This is loaded with a set of lace sensor gold pickups, and we're going into the clean channel of my Fender Blues Deluxe Reissue amplifier, which is loaded with an Eminent Swamp Thing speaker, mic'd up with a Sennheiser E906 and an N22 ribbon microphone. And this is my neck pickup clean. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of blues to begin with, and we're on the king mode. So I'll show you that to begin with. And we've got the gain set to low. Here we go. Now we get 3 modes here: overdrive, boost, and distortion. And this is the overdrive one, which I think is really musical. Sounds great. You can increase the gain by using this switch. It's very reminiscent of the sound that I dial in with my pedal board already, so that's really cool. I like it actually in the high position. Now if you're looking for more distortion, you can just click this button up. Back down. Now both sound really good. Distortion inherently gets a little more compressed, which is what it's doing. Overdrive sounds more open. Built into both sides of the pedal is a boost mode, and I've got that enabled. I just had to turn the volume of the pedal down. It would have clipped my recording, so here we go. With it off. This gets much, much louder. If I'm going to switch back to overdrive or distortion now, it drops drastically. Here we go. Yeah, so it's like 50% more quiet in the other mode. So this boost mode wallops the front end of the amp. Up next, we're going to take a look at the difference between the king and the blues mode on this left-hand side of the pedal. Here we go. So that's a great sound. It drastically changes the tone of the pedal, which is cool because more brightness, It's sort of different mid-range and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it just really makes it come alive. If you're a fan of a Marshall, you'll get a kick out of that, no questions about it. Before we combine the channels, let's just see what kind of drive we can get out of this by cranking up the drive all the way, and we're in distortion mode on King mode, and then we'll switch over to blues. Here we go. I mean, that's pretty gnarly. Let us know what you think of that. Over to some humbuckers now, thanks to my Tokai Love Rock, and we're going to switch the King and Blues mode on either side in overdrive mode. So it'll be a kind of sort of like a mix of all of the combinations here. Here we go. So yeah, there's some really great tones in there. I like this side in blues mode, and this side in King mode was my favorite. Now if you want to reverse the signal chain, boom. All right. Over to my Telecaster now while we test out the voltage doubling circuit or switch on the back. So you can run it at 9 volts, which is what you've been listening to, or flick the switch and you get a little bit more headroom. Again, it's subtle, but it is what it is. Let's give it a shot. This is 9 volts. Actually sounds a little bit more full to my ear, or maybe it's just rolling out a little bit of drive, but there's definitely a difference, although it is subtle. And lastly, what we're going to do is stack both sides together with the distortion on, and then we'll experiment around with the presence controls, which I haven't needed the entire video. Some could argue that I did, but I'll show you what it does, because it adds a really nice shimmer. You only really realistically need one side with a little bit of presence if you find it not quite bright enough. But have a listen to this, it's crazy. So both sides on, distortion. Woo! That is crazy. So you can definitely get a lot more bite on the top end by bringing in that presence control. But there's so many tones built into this. I think the last thing that I want to do is just basically set up a sound that I would use for myself, and then it might be a good starting point for you guys. So let's do it. And finally, this is the kind of setting that I would use if I was playing live. So I would live on this side of the pedal. I've got it set up in overdrive mode, in King mode, because I like the sound of it, with the high gain option. The reason why, if I keep my volume control down, it cleans up beautifully. I can turn up. That's a tone and a half, man. That's a neck pickup on a humbucker, and it sounds beautiful. It really does. And then I can stack this side into it, which sounds great. So on this side, I'm using the overdrive with the blues tone and the gain set to low. Here we go. I also added a bit of the presence because it just adds a nice shimmer to the note. Even though there's plenty of drive on there, it still sounds kind of clean. That's my little trick. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts here and first impressions of the Throne of Tone from Warm Audio. Now, in terms of build quality, I took this out of the box and I thought to myself, man, this feels like a brick. It's a heavy duty pedal. All the pots feel great. All the switches feel great. The build quality is probably the best from the Warm Audio pedals I've tested so far. I also tested the tube squealer, which I really liked as well, but this is so light compared to this. It's less than half the weight. So yeah, this is definitely sort of like a more brick-like overdrive pedal and distortion. Now, speaking of which, I love the fact that you can combine these channels and they work well together. So whether you're looking for a clean boost into a distortion, a clean boost into an overdrive, two overdrives, two distortions, or whatever it is you're looking for, you can make it work and you can reverse the signal chain nice and simply with this switch here. Now, the presence controls, you won't often need too much unless you're a neck humbucker player. Then you can dial them in a little bit, but you won't need much. And I think having them is a great addition. And if you don't need them, you can just roll them all the way to the off position and forget about it. And then you've got essentially a 3-control overdrive, distortion, or boost pedal here. And yeah, it just works. And that's one of those things. Not all dual overdrive or dual effects like this play well together. I've tested some where the left side doesn't necessarily make the right side louder. When you click it in, it just gets compressed and weird. This actually sounds great, and I was able to get my sound out of it, which is very reminiscent of my Royal Flush Dual Overdrive pedal from VS Audio. So yeah, if you're a fan of the King of Tone and you don't want to wait 10 years for one, whatever they're up to now, maybe 3 years, that's sarcasm by the way, or if you're just looking for like a blues breaker pedal or any combination of both, I think this is a really great choice. I'm a big fan of this. I can't wait to sort of stack this with a couple of other pedals and see what kind of tones we get. If you want to take a look at this, I'll link it below. Thanks for watching. Smash the thumbs up. I hate that term. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell, all that kind of thing, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.